We're covering breaking news right now out of Far East County, where a brush fire is exploding in size and forcing evacuations in Boulevard. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Stephanie Simmons, in tonight for Marcella. Right now, Interstate 8 is shut down in both directions in that area. The fire broke out around 3:30 this afternoon near Buckthorn Trail off Old Highway 80. You can see it on the map there and just south of the 8 freeway.
The fire has since burned at least 236 acres. It's been growing rapidly and appears to be burning northeast as CAL FIRE confirms flames have jumped Interstate 8. We saw that from Chopper 8 earlier. This is video you're looking at taken earlier from Chopper 8. The flames are high and the plumes of smoke are thick. CAL FIRE says it started with a trailer fire that spread to nearby dry brush and has exploded into what we are seeing now. People in the area are being told to evacuate to the Golden Acorn Casino. That's at 1800 Golden Acorn Way in Campo, but people on the east side of the fire, they will not be able to get through Interstate 8 to get to that right now, so I'm not sure where they are to go. We do have a crew on the way to the scene, and we'll have a live report from them once we get there.
Yes, and we're talking about an area that's not heavily populated, and so we are really hoping the people who live out there have a plan in place, because a lot of people have horses in rural areas like that. So not only do they have to safely evacuate themselves, but it takes a while to get those large animals safely evacuated in those trailers. You are taking a look at the map right now of the evacuation zones. You can see this as well on the watch duty map. We also have that linked on CBS8.com for you. In the red, the zones who are evacuated. And then in the other portions there, those are the zones on standby. And so if you are in the red zones, you need to go now. But as Carlo was just mentioning, the 8 freeway totally shut down. So keep your phone handy and stay up to date with the alerts from CAL FIRE, as we are doing as well.
The direction it's moving is not heavily populated, but it is populated. There are homes. There are people who have large properties with animals. There is if you go a little deeper into that area, there are campgrounds. So it depends on how big this fire gets, but we've been seeing no sign that it's being slowed down yet. Carlene was telling us earlier we had winds out of the west, southwest at about 16 miles an hour consistently, with up to 35-mile-an-hour gusts. In fact, why don't we head over to Carlene right now for an update on what we're looking at the moment.
A trifecta that is taking place. We have the heat, we have the lack of humidity, and we also have wind conditions that have been picking up. Here's the thing, a lot of people have been talking about how sweltering it is out there. You're closer towards the coast. Inland, we actually dried out a little bit more today, and so relative humidity is at 27% for Boulevard, and for most inland areas, it's been into the 30s and 40s. Boulevard also has a temperature right now of 91 degrees. It is under that extreme heat warning that most inland areas for our county are under all the way through tomorrow. Wind speeds have been a big factor with this, and that's because we typically get that westerly breeze that picks up into the afternoon and evening hours, but it's been relatively strong, especially with those gusts that have been in the 30s over the last several hours. You have 31 miles per hour with the current wind gusts for Boulevard. You also have sustained wind speeds in the teens still, 14 miles per hour. It's coming out of the southwest. Over the next several hours, we'll continue to have this combination of sustained wind speeds into the teens, and we'll have those gusts that will be into the 30s and the 20s. It's not until we get past 10 p.m. tonight that those winds start to calm just a little bit more. That will take us all the way into the early morning hours. So calm gusts, but sustained wind speeds will be in single digits, and of course, we'll have the higher humidity values that typically does recover as we go into those overnight hours. So we'll get back into the 40s, but that's still relatively dry for this area. Also talking about 91 degrees right now. At the time that the fire broke out, 94 degrees was the temperature. Another thing that's a big factor is the fact that we have had a lack of measurable rainfall recently. We are into our dry period, and as a result, that has led to a lot of dry vegetation that is in the area that's going to keep on going. We also have a smoke advisory that has been issued. That is by the San Diego County Air Pollution Control District. That's because of the Thorn Fire and because of that heavy smoke in the area. Anyone who suffers from upper respiratory issues is advised to limit outdoor activities. Also, just make sure that if you smell smoke, you stay inside, because that can really disrupt you, especially when you're talking about those fine particulates that typically pop up. Back to you two.
All right, and Carlene said as well earlier to shut your doors and windows and wear a mask if you have upper respiratory issues. So great tips there.
Yeah, fortunately, most of that smoke is moving into an area that's lightly populated right now. It's not going the other way into highly
would've been
populated
worse.
areas of San Diego. But it's also difficult to tell right now. This fire jumped across the 8. What we don't know if there are active fire lines along Interstate 8, both east and west, meaning is the fire burning there so that they have to keep Interstate 8 closed, or have they been able to get control of it along that? We don't know yet. We're still waiting to find out, because that will tell us how much longer it'll be until cars can go through again.
And sometimes they extend the closures because it takes just one ember to jump the freeway,
exactly.
and then they have to shut down more exits. So some people could be trapped as well. All right, well, that fire burning in Boulevard is exactly why CAL FIRE is remaining on high alert as those temperatures soar.
Yeah, we were already working on this fire today when this fire broke out. They're warning both dry brush and the extreme heat are creating high danger for wildfires despite the humidity we had. News 8's Alex Cheney joins us now with more. Alex?
Yeah, Carla, that's right. I was working on this story earlier afternoon, and then that fire broke out, making this even more poignant. I talked to CAL FIRE today, and they told me that as the summer goes on, the heat goes up, and the relatively dry fuels outside, fire danger increases. CAL FIRE crews knocked down a 4-acre brush fire in San Marcos and a half-acre fire in National City just last week. Both were contained before they could spread, but they served as an early reminder of what could be a busy fire season.
So the fire potential and risk is definitely increasing as the days go on.
Oscar Sotelo from CAL FIRE says after a rainy January, the rest of the year was much drier than normal, leaving dry brush across the county easier to ignite. While monsoonal moisture and increased humidity does help dampen brush, it does not prevent fires.
The days turn into months of summer and then into late fall until we get that good substantial rain. The fire risk will always be there.
CAL FIRE is urging people to avoid activities that can create sparks, especially during the hottest part of the day, and to clear defensible space around their homes.
From the coast all the way out to the desert, we've seen a lot of fires start all within those areas. And so the risk is there. And as summer goes on, the dog days of summer, man, we'll be out there fighting fire for sure.
Oscar went on to tell me that it's important to download the Genesis app so you can know more about fire size and if there are any evacuation warnings or orders in your area. Coming up tonight at 7 o'clock, he told me more about how the new air tankers and helicopters are helping them in the firefight. That's coming up tonight at 7.
Alex Cheney reporting. Thanks, Alex. And the heat isn't only creating a concern for firefighters. CHP says they see a spike in aggressive driving as temperatures soar.
News 8's Steve Price has tips to keep you safe and also an important warning from a pharmacist about how the weather can affect your medicine.
If this heat is driving you up a wall, you are definitely not alone. The problem, though, is that a lot of drivers take out their frustration behind the wheel. Road rage spikes, but when it comes to heat in cars, that's not the only potentially deadly situation.
It's not even the dog days of summer yet, but at Memorial Park in Chula Vista, the pooches are already pooped. Taking a moment to breathe is a good idea because when temperatures soar, tempers tend to rise.
With the increased heat, people do become more agitated.
CHP officer Isam Wasab has seen firsthand what a field study from Arizona revealed. When temperatures were below 80 degrees, drivers gave a light short honk. But when temperatures were above 90 degrees, drivers honked longer and made unfriendly hand gestures. And another study published by the National Institutes of Health found deadly crashes in the U.S. increased 3.4% on heat wave days between May and September.
During the summer, that's where we see more crashes related to speed and DUI and reckless driving.
To lower your stress behind the wheel, play relaxing music, put photos of loved ones on your dash, hang a peppermint or cinnamon scented car freshener, and do some deep breathing.
If you encounter any aggressive drivers or road rage incidents, don't respond, don't provide eye contact, don't make rude hand gestures, avoid flashing your high beams or using your vehicle's horn for an extended duration.
When it's 95 degrees outside, in just 20 minutes, the inside of your car can jump to 130 degrees, and that can cause another problem.
Your medication can start to break down. You may not see that it's breaking down visibly, but it starts to become less and less effective in your body.
Refrigerated drugs like insulin and GLP-1 medications are especially vulnerable, but severe heat can also affect life-saving medications, including EpiPens and asthma inhalers. If you're picking up medicine on a hot day, try to make the pharmacy your last stop before heading home. But if you have to carry it around with you all day, store it in an insulated bag with a cold pack. In Chula Vista, Steve Price, News 8.
Thanks, Steve. And you can find more ways to stay safe from extreme heat, as well as tips to keep your AC working without breaking the bank, all on the CBS 8 app. Download it on your phone or TV and stream for free. All right, we're going to take a quick break and be right back after this.
But as we go to break, we want to take a live look. Our crew heading to the scene right now, that fire burning near Boulevard. This is thick black smoke. Again, Esmeralda Perez is just getting to the scene. She will have a live report next.